What's up, everybody? It's Worship Wednesday, and it is camp night. We are ready for you guys. Casey went to go get a flannel because she's like, I gotta have a flannel, right? We gotta be ready for a flannel. Flannel time. Flannel time. We're gonna sing some tunes, guys, and they are gonna be lit, as you kids say. Lit. But it should be fun. I know it feels weird, it's just me here by myself without Casey, but she's coming. She's coming. So we've set up this lovely little setting for you guys. We have our camping chairs set up here. We have the fire going right here. It's hot though. It's really hot. You gotta be careful. Hot. It's just hot. And then if you can see our awesome, beautiful sign back here, it says welcome campers to W2, because it's Worship Wednesday, W squared, right? Right? What's up, Kyle? There it is. There it is. You got it?
Had to get my chacos, guys, or Tivas. Because you can't camp without your Tivas.
Uh-oh. I heard a noise at the door.
No, it's okay, bud.
But I'm going barefoot, so that's just where I'm going.
He's roughing it. Woo, woo. You guys like my cool sign? Welcome campers to W2. Can you guys even see that? W squared, W2. Worship Wednesday. That's what our camp is called. Do you like it? Do you like it? Woo, woo. Oh, I forgot to make the trail mix. I'll be right back.
I told you my wife is very committed. Yeah, Joey's making an appearance tonight. Joey, come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come say hi. No, don't bark. Come here. I mean, I guess you did say hi. No, don't do it. Oh.
What happened?
I thought he was gonna. Joey, come here. Come here. Come here. Sit. Come here. Come here.
Yep.
She's gonna show you guys how to make trail mix. So here we go.
Tutorial.
Tutorial.
So, in case you're going camping or maybe to the beach, because you just grab whatever in your pantry, get a little bag like this. Don't laugh at me. Open it and clean your hands first, because it's gross. And you got a little, chocolate chips. So you're just gonna, this is hot. It's fine. It's gonna work, guys. Like this, you just pour a little bit in there. Ooh, a little chocolate. Yeah. And then you gotta get your nuts. So we had sunflower seeds. Just gonna do a little bit of that. Oh, little spillage, little spillage. And for that extra crunch, we're gonna add some pretzels. Oh no, pretzel down. And then you just, there you go.
Joey. Look, over here. No, over here.
And then you're good to go. You don't have to do a Ziploc or anything.
Joey, come here. Come here.
Put it all back in your pantry, so excuse me. Come. Yeah.
Come here. Look. Sit.
And then, oh look, sunflower
Boy.
seed.
There you go.
Yum. And then, look at this. And campers, you are ready for Camp Surprise. And the best part about trail mix, April, definitely M&Ms. They don't have any, unfortunately, but the chocolate chips melted in the bag, so there's like a chunk chocolate thing. And then you reach in, you don't know what you're gonna get. Oh, pretzel. A little fun?
I'm good right now. I'll get some later.
Okay.
It's all yours.
Maybe you want to take this time while other people are getting on to make your own trail mix. Go to the pantry, find something. If you don't have a paper bag, maybe get a Ziploc, little treat for this wonderful camp evening.
Let's see here. There we go. You know, I haven't heard from yet.
Thanks, Shannon. She likes my outfit.
Haven't heard from Angel yet. That's like the one person I haven't heard from.
I'm also wearing a bandana and I have a headache. Should probably take some aspirin.
It's up in there. It is very bright. Maybe we should turn those lights off. Think maybe?
I think it's fine.
Well, they can't see the sign. You can't see the hip sign that you made, babe.
Okay.
Just those right there. Let's see. Lighting is everything, and wait for it. You know, come back.
Is it good or not?
Let's see. You can see it a little bit better, I think. Only we did candlelight. That would have been better. Campfire light. That would have been way better, but we didn't. So if you didn't know already, there is lyrics. If you look in the description down there, there should be a link to the lyrics if you want to follow along. Dang, I forgot to put the link to the playlist. But there was a playlist sent out earlier today. I believe it was through all of our stuff, social media, Robley, snail mail. I don't know what other things we have of communication. But it's camp night, so get excited. Get very excited. We're talking all things camp, and you're probably thinking like, well, what if I've never been to camp? I'm pretty sure you've been to camp. If you've been to any sort of summer camp, if you've been to Converge, if you've been to, the camp in Leesburg, if you've been to any camp as a kid, if you've been camping and, your dad's played some pretty corny songs by the campfire, that counts. That most definitely counts. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, I think we're good. What? Is it on its way?
No.
I'm just gonna see if I can adjust that a little bit. That is a little bit.
Dang it. Can't do it anymore.
What happened?
Missed my opportunity.
What happened?
Yeah, then.
Pizookie?
Yeah. I was gonna order a Pizookie, guys, and they closed, I guess. Early. I thought they were open, but I guess not. It's fine. Got my trail mix, so that's good. But I can't. How about we move this so I can see the comments?
You can just minimize it. Just minimize it.
Okay.
Minimize it. There you go. There you go. Yep. Click. Yep.
I did
just
click it.
There it is.
You're getting really nervous, huh?
Also, Sarah Marino is considering going to Nebraska.
Oh, no. I mean, it's a great school.
She doesn't know. Just saying. She said the hat's growing on her. This is for you, Sarah. This one's for you. This hat. Or just for you.
Also, I brought a flashlight so we could tell scary stories. I don't actually know any scary stories.
I don't either.
This is like a camp thing.
It's definitely a camp thing.
Did you guys see my little?
I did. I pointed it out. I said it's hot. It's very hot.
Ooh,
hot to the touch. You can't get the one thing we did forget was s'mores. We were like, dang it.
But I made trail mix instead, which kind of pretzels kind of have like a graham crackery thing going on, and then you got the chocolate, sweetness. You don't have any malas though. It's a shame.
It's all right. Well, so shall we get started? You've got the mouse. You are good to go up here. Taking some throwbacks, y'all. Taking some
maybe
some
throwbacks that you guys don't even know.
Deep throwbacks. You don't even know. I just love that GIF. I'm sorry, it's one of my favorites.
What is it?
It's Will Ferrell. He's on SNL, I think, doing like Weekend Update. You don't even know. It's just the best. I just love it. All right, ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do this. It's camp time. It's camp song time. It's not camp rock time because, well, although I do know.
Oh man, I've been looking at the computer camera this whole time.
Yeah, it's up there.
Sorry guys. Dang it.
think I know one Camp Rock song. We don't have to play that right now. Anyway, here we go. I wasn't sure what you were doing with your hands. All of a sudden, I just see these like tiny little hands. Like what?
It was what is going on? You got the message. That was good.
See, we would do whenever you would do the how can it be. You're doing this like we actually like turned into a bee. Like
that's pretty good. This is a bop.
Just where it goes.
Yes.
That takes me back, y'all. Takes me back.
If you did the hand motions in your living room or your bedroom, whatever it is, A for you. I don't know what you're being graded on, but I guess you can get an A or gold star.
Gold star. You get a gold star.
Or what's like a camp thingy that you get? You get a
button.
Another a
button. You get a button.
Get a button.
World's best camper. Button. Or you get, wouldn't you get like when you did like Girl Scout camp and like you would get, you know, things for having your bed made and stuff like that? No? Maybe it's just some camps.
So if well, I guess we're gonna tell a story now. So if we were at like dinner or breakfast or whatever, and there was what was called a scraper, and you had like one of the spatulas that we have, and if you were caught with your elbows on the table, or you like said something mean, or I don't know, bad table manners, then you would become the scraper, and you would have to scrape all of the extra food off of other people's plates. and it wasn't fun. And so you got kind of like worst camper, but you didn't really get worst camper. But we did have awards at the end of camp, which was weird. We talked about that earlier.
Yeah,
today.
we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Get to that. I keep looking at that camera too. What's that?
I know, because there's a green light, and I want to look into it.
I know. All right, you guys should know this one. You should. You most definitely.
This is like you guys' camp song.
Let love explode and bring the dead to life. A love so bold to see revolution somehow. Let love explode and bring the dead to life. A love so bold to see revolution somehow. Now I'm lost in your freedom. This world I'll overcome. My God's not dead, surely alive, and he's living on the inside, roaring like a lion. My God's not dead, surely alive, and he's living on the inside, roaring like a lion. Roaring like a lion. Let hope arise and make the darkness hide. My faith is dead, I need a resurrection somehow. Let hope arise and make the darkness hide. My faith is dead, I need a resurrection somehow. Now I'm lost in your freedom. This world I'll overcome. My God's not dead, he's surely alive, and he's living on the inside, roaring like a lion. My God's not dead, surely alive, and he's living on the inside, roaring like a lion. My God's not dead, surely alive, and he's living on the inside, roaring like a lion. He's roaring like a lion. Let heaven roar, fire fall, come shake the ground with the sound of revival. Let heaven roar and fire fall, come shake the ground with the sound of revival. Let heaven roar and fire fall, come shake the ground with the sound of revival. Let heaven roar and fire fall, come shake the ground with the sound of revival. My God's not dead, surely alive, and he's living on the inside, roaring like a lion. My God's not dead, surely alive, and he's living on the inside, roaring like a lion. My God's not dead, surely alive, and he's living on the inside, roaring like a lion. He's roaring like a lion. Man, that was a doozy. You guys can hear us okay, right? Just making sure the microphone is like a little bit different place, so just want to make sure you guys can hear.
Holly must do hand motions. That's pretty funny.
So true, Holly. So true. Ready? I don't think so. What's interesting, I will say what's interesting about Like a Lion is it was really popular like a while ago. We'll put it that way. Like 2008, 2009.
2009 when it came out. When did this one come out? 1996. Every move I make was 1996.
And we were singing it in 2000, 1998, 1990. Yeah, I was in middle school in 1997,
2005. Wow. This one's 2005. And the next
He wrote it in
one
2005, but it didn't get big until 2006.
Oh, a year.
I know. It's just crazy.
And our last one is from 1997. Wow. Were they born?
I think most of you guys probably weren't born.
1996. Is anybody a 90s kid? No. Right?
No, nobody.
Wow.
0%.
We're old. You're an 80s kid. I'm a 90s kid. Well, you're like we were both 90s kids. Like you still grew up in the 90s.
My prime was in the 90s.
Yeah. Oh man, what a disaster of the 2000s. My childhood, the games, the music, the movies,
all of it. All of it.
Not our strong moment as human beings living in America. But it's okay.
It's quite alright. Alright, let's go. So anyway, this song, I think I first played it, believe it or not, at an epic retreat when I was leading worship. I believe the retreat was called Encounter back then, which was crazy, but I very, very quickly fell in love with this song.
I have a story about this song.
Are we sharing it? Okay.
We're sharing it.
We're going.
You're going for it. So my sister, Kelsey Blahnik, some of you guys may know her. She used to intern at Epic, actually, when Holly was a student. I think she was Holly's small group leader, right? Which is crazy. But I was in town. She went to UCF, and I was in town. I lived in Texas at the time. I was a high schooler, and Phil was the worship leader. I'd never met him before, and I was going through like really, really like depression, really rocky place in my faith, really angry at God, but I really liked this song because I had heard it on the radio, and it was like a retreat or something, and Phil actually sang the song, and I did not want to go to Epic. Kelsey, my sister, wanted to show me what it was like in an Epic night or whatnot, so my family went when we were in town. And Phil started playing this song, and I kind of like perked up, and I was like, oh, I really like this song. Come to find out that he would later be my husband, which is so crazy. And I think the second night that we met, we were like texting really late in bed, and like in different places, obviously. We were like texting each other. He lived in Florida, I lived in Texas. And he had asked me like, oh, what's your favorite song? And or I asked him, I think, yeah, and he said How He Loves, and it's my all-time favorite song ever. And I remember the moment so clearly. I shot up in my bed, and I was like, it was 2 a.m, and I was like,
which means it was 3 a.m. here,
yeah.
By the way, Texas time.
Yeah. And I shot up in my bed, and I was like, are you for real, God? Like, is this man like actually real? Like, he was so perfect for me, and I still believe that. Yeah, kind of crazy.
Really crazy.
Yeah. So we're gonna sing How He Loves.
Jealous for me, love's like a hurricane. I am a tree bending beneath the weight of his wind and mercy. I'm unaware of these afflictions, eclipsed by glory. And I realize just how beautiful you are, how great your affections are for me. And oh, how he loves us so. And oh, how he loves us, how he loves us so. He is jealous for me, loves like a hurricane. I am a tree bending beneath the weight of his wind and mercy. And all of a sudden I'm unaware of these afflictions, eclipsed by glory. And I realize just how beautiful you are, how great your affections are for me. And oh, how he loves us so. Oh, how he loves us, how he loves us so. Yeah, he loves us. Oh, how he loves us. Oh, how he loves us. Oh, how he loves. Yeah, he loves us. Oh, how he loves us. Oh, how he loves us. Oh, how he loves. If we are his portion and he is our prize, drawn to redemption by the grace in his eyes. If grace is an ocean, we're all sinking. So heaven meets earth like a sloppy wet kiss, and my heart turns violently inside of my chest. I don't have time to maintain these regrets when I think about the way he loves us. Oh, how he loves us. Oh, how he loves us. Oh, how he loves. Yeah, he loves us. Oh, how he loves us. Oh, how he loves us. Oh, how he loves. Yeah, you love, yeah, you love, yeah, you love, yeah, you love. Sing this together. You love us, Jesus. Yeah, you love us, Jesus. We love you, Jesus. And we love you, Jesus. We love you, Jesus. We love you, Jesus. We love. Crazy. I do remember leading that song though, and then just not being able to get through it because I genuinely felt, and with those words and the weight of them, how much God deeply loved, not just me, but how much He deeply loves His people and His children and anyone that He has made. And I think John Mark McMillan, the guy who wrote it, just put it so perfectly and so beautifully. And that was kind of the realm into worship music where things just started to get a lot more depth, I think, especially for me. It was like, what, a worship song doesn't have to be crazy simple and the lyrics don't have to be boring and the same old thing over and over again. Like, he was bold enough to write that. And he actually wrote that song out of anger. His best friend died in a car wreck. And he wrote it completely out of anger. He was so mad at God. He was completely heartbroken. And that's what came out of it, which is just nuts. Just absolutely nuts. If you want to, at some point, I recommend looking up the story of how he loves. And even the first, the video's like super fuzzy, but like he's singing and playing it from years and years and years and years and years ago. It's pretty powerful stuff. Pretty powerful stuff. Okay.
Last one, you guys. Then we get into story time.
Here we go. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. Open. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. See you high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing, holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. I want to see you. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. Open eyes of my heart, I want to see you. I want to see you. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. Amen.
Such a good lyric. Such a weird lyric at the same time.
Classic. Classic. That is definitely true, Peyton. That is definitely true. We're going to catch up, guys. We're going to catch up. Let's see.
I'm out of breath.
Let's see.
Emma, why are you out of breath?
Hand
oh,
motions.
hand motions.
Hand motions. We're
Got
catching
it.
up. Juniors are 02, 03. You guys were born in 02? That's crazy.
Wow.
April. Thank you, April. Thank you. Thank you for validating us. Especially me. Especially me. My mom was born in 64.
That kind of rhymes.
Great. All the camps. Let's see. Kelsey
Holly,
Smogger,
whoop, Kelsey.
Crowder. Yes, it was Kim Walker. Kim Walker made it big, I think. She made it really, really big. But I remember hearing the John Mark McMillan version very, very first.
Kim Walker was like she just has such a unique voice
She
that
does.
like it's like so like gritty and like edgy, and her voice goes so low, it's crazy. So I remember when I heard the How He Loves by her, it was so low. Like I thought I was listening to a man singing it.
That's crazy.
Funny.
He's gonna get you crazy in this place, because you better just brace yourself. And you don't even know. She says that too. Because if you did. That was, when I was looking at the song lyrics today, that was like in it, like in the song. It was like
I want to listen to
that
it
explanation.
now.
I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. But I bet
Phil was
people
my
actually like
worship
mimic it.
leader. Oh.
Yeah, Peyton. Yep, Peyton was there. I'll put my guitar down.
Z88 vibes.
You got it. You know it, Shannon.
Oh, I didn't pick my pictures that we were gonna do. Dang
Where
it.
were they?
On I was gonna look at Facebook. That's okay.
All good. All good.
Okay. So, did you tell him about Smokey the Bear?
I didn't. We don't have Smokey the Bear, guys, so we got Winnie. It's the next best thing. I think. The next best thing.
Ooh! Got my trail mix!
Nice drip? I don't know what you mean by that. Sorry.
Drop. Drip. Drip.
Drip? Drop? Droop?
Drip. I don't know.
I don't know. Somebody's got to explain what that means. But, regardless,
So,
we're going to talk about camp.
unfortunately, guys,
Camp.
got this.
So we'll hit pause on that one for a minute. I can remember one camp I went to. This is pretty awful, okay? Because at the end of the camp, they handed out awards. And I don't mean like awards like cleanest camper or like nicest smile, you know, that sort of thing. It was like weird awards. Like awards like, you know, they were super Christian, I guess I would say. Like, who's the most Christ-like, or who's the most like James or John or Peter, or it was like humbleness of James or humility of James. I was like, what? It had a little plaque with your name on it. And I was like,
Yeah,
how in
they
the...
did that at my camp too.
But I always thought, like, how did they have time to go get these things? Like, we were in the middle of nowhere. So did they like have these pre-printed like before we
They
left?
sewed them together with the yeast from the fields.
Because it was like weird. It was just super weird. And so I remember not getting an award and being like, oh man, am I not Christian enough? Am I not Christ-like enough? It just was not good. It was not a good thing. It was not a good thing. But I do remember a lot of ridiculous stories and silly stories and funny stories, some of which did involve poop. One in particular did involve poop.
Not that one. You can't tell that one.
No, I can't tell that. I have told that one.
Man,
Pretty
there's
bad.
so many camp stories. I don't know where to begin.
Well, typically in the guys' dorm, we would all, well, at least with the 10th grade guys that I was with, we'd have each other check our poop before we left. was pretty funny.
What?
It was pretty disgusting. Yeah.
Like you'd poop in the toilet and then they'd look at it.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
It was pretty disgusting.
That's gross.
It was pretty gross.
Wow.
But weird things happen when you put teenagers together.
A lot of my stories have to do with one particular individual. He was one of my best friends growing up. And I won't say his name because he might be watching. No, he's not watching.
That's some trauma.
Yep.
Sit on over.
For some reason, his bowel movements were just fast and furious. What?
It just grossed me out.
Why?
It just did.
Oh, because it's chocolate. Got it. Sorry.
Yeah. Continue.
More for me. But so one time, like every year, we would go on a Schlitterbahn trip, which Schlitterbahn is a water park in Texas, and we would go every year. And it was like a 36-hour retreat. It wasn't long at all. We stayed over at a church, and when we got there, we went to like this huge bus, and we would get on the bus, and we would drive, and we would go straight to the river because we had like you sit in inner tubes, and you would just kind of like raft the river. And it was super fun.
I know where this is going.
You've heard the story.
I know. That's why I said I know where
And
this is going.
at one point during, it's probably like a maybe 2 hour like rafting ride once you go all the way around. So some people would go twice. But anyway, at one point during the rafting experience, there's like this wall. Yeah, Josh Rhodes knows that park. That's
Houston.
awesome.
He's from Houston.
Yeah.
He knows.
Love that park. Super fun. Super fun. Great memories. And also some not good memories, but anyway, we're gonna just scoot right past that. And so at some point during the rafting adventure, there's like this wall that kind of sticks up out of the water. And it was just like a lake, river. And my friend, who I will not say his name, he decides that he has to go poo, and he decides that he's just gonna do it. So he does it. But the poo floats, I guess, to this wall, and it just kind of perches up there on the wall. So every other student that passes by is looking at this dude's poop going by. So it became this really funny thing. Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah.
It's pretty dang gross.
Yeah.
I already said my worst camp story.
Why does it have to be a worst camp story?
That was my worst one. It wasn't.
Do you guys have any questions about camp?
There were good ones, I will say. There were lots of good ones. We would go to St. Simon's Island.
Usually Olivia's comment.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy, Olivia.
Yeah,
that was
there.
top 3 probably worst camp memories ever for me, and even as an adult, it was like, yep, I'm gonna get fired after this. That was crazy. But anyway, moving on past that.
I feel like it's not church camp if you don't have an epic dance party.
Oh, that's definitely true.
Yeah.
1000%.
Like, Jesus is not present unless you have I can't even say that with a straight face.
Yeah. But we went to St. Simon's Island every year. We would go...
What's that, a beach?
It's in Georgia. Yeah, I guess it's a beach. But we would go up to... Georgia. We'd stay like 5 days in that area. We went in the wintertime, and then we also went in the summertime. I prefer the wintertime because it was cold, but we had a lot of great memories there. I remember we played capture the flag in this huge open field, and then I remember tripping and falling because I thought it would be really awesome if I ran as fast as I could to impress this girl. I was in like 7th grade, so like I didn't know any better.
Is this when you were training for cross country?
No, that was sophomore year. But I was running as fast as I could, and it gets even worse, guys. Like I was wearing a they were called wife beaters, but it's like such a terrible name. They're just white undershirts, white tank tops. I can't believe that's what they're called. But anyway, me and my buddies were wearing that, and then I was wearing shorts and then this long chain because I thought rap was cool. It was pretty bad.
Scott.
Ace and ACL dance party was the best. Absolutely. Yeah.
What's Ace and ACL?
That was from Vintage. We had a dance party. But anyway. And I remember running as fast as I could, and I fell in this giant pile of ants, but it was dark, so I didn't know that till later. And I just remember the ants being like this big, like they were huge, and I was trying to get them off me, and then I just had ant bites, like from my ankle all the way up to my knee. It was the absolute worst. That was pretty bad. It's not like all bad camp memories, but I gotta think of some good ones. Yeah, tortillas, blah blah blah.
Oh, I remember that. What is that from? Converge?
Yeah.
I never understood that. Y'all, I miss going on camps with you guys. I love my daughter a lot, but I miss like hanging out with you. It's hard.
It's hard.
It's hard being a mom.
So
Anyway.
maybe you guys can throw out your favorite Converge camp memory, or not Converge camp, just epic camp memory you can think of, or just camp memory. And just throw those out there. We'd love to hear them. You know, through the comments, through anywhere else. Pretty great. I do always remember the last night of camp. The last night of camp was always a big deal. Like everybody would be super hyped, super pumped because it was the last night. You're exhausted. You probably got like 4 hours of sleep the whole night. It was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And then all of a sudden, like, that was the night that God showed up, you know, because it was the last night. We always felt that way. It was just ridiculous.
Sammy, just bring more. Yeah, if you guys want to be quiet at like 8 o'clock,
7:30, 8 o'clock.
when she goes to bed, that will
Shut it down!
Yeah. If there's a separate room, wherever we go, whatever, yeah, the next ventures look like, I would totally bring her, because that'd be super fun. And she would get to hang out with you guys, so that'd be awesome. But who knows? Are we going fun? Wait, what?
Funny or serious or spiritual? You go ahead. Either way, wherever you want. Funny or spiritual, doesn't matter.
I don't get the question. Are we going funny or spiritual with our camp? Oh, with our camp memories. Got it.
Yeah, either one. Totally up to you. Bob Ross. Those were good ones.
Oh, that is a great one. Yeah, that was a really good one.
Bad news, babe. I ate all the pretzels.
I knew you were going to. That's why I stole one from your hand. Y'all, I don't know if you guys shop at Aldi or if your parents do, but Clancy's pretzels are so good. I don't know why. They're a great pretzel. I'm trying to think. This is kind of like a serious one, but I loved Mac. Who remembers Mac? Shout out to Mac. We were Converge leaders maybe 3 years ago now together. And we went to the, it's not a retirement home. It's like a rehab facility, I think. What is it called? Winter Park.
Rehab?
Winter Park Rehab. And we played like bowling and did karaoke with the residents there. And they don't like get a whole lot of, action. Yeah, like interaction with anybody. And it was so fun. And like all of the residents' faces just lit up. And it was just a moment of really pure joy for them. And so many of our team and our group, they like had a hard time coming out of their shell, and so it was just really, really cool to see everybody be really excited and joyful. I really like that memory. It's a good one. Yeah.
I left a big chunk of chocolate for you.
I don't want the chocolate without the salty. It's balanced.
You put pretzels away already?
No,
No.
they're over there. It's fine.
We don't run out of them. They're over there. Man, I'm trying to think so many.
Almost getting run over by a bull. What happened
That's
there?
wild, Dad. That is absolutely wild. Man, I'm trying to think of some of my other ones. Like, they're just so crazy.
Through the window? What?
We
ask Bobby about that.
We tried to do a lot of pranks. I do remember that, like so many pranks, especially me and Bobby. Lots of pranks. Usually it was towards the girls, and usually it didn't go over well because somehow the girls caught word. We had a snitch. We had a snitch in our group. Is what happened. Happened every time. So, needless to say, I This is when I was in like 7th or 8th grade. But I tried to do, I can't remember what I tried to do, but I tried to like bang on the girl's door and scare them or something like that through the window outside. Oh gosh, I don't know what room it is, but basically where it's glass and you can see through. And I got caught, which wasn't good.
Rodeo camp? What?
And I got caught, and it wasn't good. And then my youth pastor let the girls give me a swirly in the toilet. It's not fun. It's not fun.
Babe, you got a swirly?
Like a little swirly, not like a swirly. Not like my face was dunked in it. It was just like the top of my head.
Your youth pastor let someone give you a swirly?
Well, he like was there.
Who is this person? Because I'm going to call them.
No, it was fun.
That is not okay.
It was all good fun.
It was not fun for me to hear that story.
I thought it was pretty funny. It didn't bother me. It didn't scar me.
That is just not okay. Anyway, sorry, that was a counselor moment. It's not as in camp counselor. Anywho, oh, what was the memory that I had?
I don't know. It was in your birth.
School would start, and we would split up with grade and gender. And so, like, the 6th grade girls would go one place, and, like, the 9th grade guys would go another, and we would have host homes. And so we would spend the night at the host home, and then we'd have a curriculum that everybody's doing across, like, the city. It was very cool. But the second, like, afternoon, we would all meet at Cece's Pizza. They don't know what Cece's Pizza is, do they? They don't have it here.
We have with CC's.
So Cece's Pizza is terrible. It's not good. But we got a good deal, and my youth pastor is extremely frugal. Anywho, after
CC's is $4 all you can eat.
Yeah.
$4 all you can eat.
And then macaroni pizza, which I totally stuffed myself on. Anyway, so after that, we would have a picture scavenger hunt, which I think we've done. Didn't we do that for Vintage 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did it at Disney Springs. But we did, like, you could go anywhere. And so there were, like, these prompts. And, like, some people would take their, like, 4 or 5 hours and would drive to the beach and back. Some people went down to, like, Minute Maid Park, which is where the Houston Astros played. And all this different stuff. So they kind of got crazy. And my grade girls thought it would be really cool. So my dad was leading, or the host home for my grades guys, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Yeah. And so I knew, like, the garage password and everything. So they were out, like, doing all their pictures. The girls snuck in to my house where the guys were staying, and we stole all their clothes. And not all of them, but most of them. And we dressed up, and we got, like, hair paint, and we, like, painted our hairs, like, the different color. So, like, I was one of the guys in my grade, and he's blonde, so I painted my hair blonde, and then I, like, wore his outfit, and we showed up to, like, and they called it, like, ending ceremonies, and we showed up there all dressed, and they were like, that's where our clothes went? We thought, we didn't know what happened to them. Like, we were packing our stuff, and so it was a very, like shameless, didn't dirty anything. Like, a lot of people would prank people's houses in TP and do all sorts of stuff, like, to other people's houses, which got, like, really, really gross. But it was super fun, actually, pranking. That was, like, the biggest pranking retreat ever, which was really, really awesome. Did some pretty crazy things, but that was the most shameless but really, really fun at the same time. It was fun. Yeah.
The guys one year at a camp that I was leading worship at, so this was on a camp that I was participating in. This was horrible, but I think it was pretty bad. The girls and the guys kept pranking each other, and specifically, like, the upperclassmen, and it just kept escalating over and over again. It all started with, like, a random water balloon that was thrown at one of the girls. Clearly, there were two people that liked each other, and then they were, like, the ringleaders, and it just kept building up. But anyway, it started there, and then the guys got, like, I guess they let, like, a raccoon or something into their room, which was just wild. I don't know how they did that, but they did. And then it just kept escalating. And the guys somehow got a hold of all the girls' phones. And this was back when there were no smartphones, and we used SIM cards. Remember those? SIM cards? So somehow they got a hold of all these girls' phones, took out all the SIM cards, and then put them all in a bag. So they had, like, all of these other cell phones and all of these SIM cards, and they weren't labeled, and they had to go one by one. And I think there was, like, 30 or 40 of them. It was
Oh my gosh.
awful. I was like, dude, that's messed up. And the girls were just, it just wasn't funny anymore. And the guys thought it was hilarious. It was not good. It was not
There's
good.
always that point when you do a prank that like you feel bad, but you don't want to lose face. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That like you just keep going with it, but you know that like you kind of messed up. You know?
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. This has kind of turned into a pranking conversation.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It just kind of happened.
Anyway.
It's gonna happen. But I do remember a lot of camps, like, that's where God felt the most real to me at the time, you know, which I think like impacted a lot of my faith. Anyway, it's like we get super hyped for retreats. You guys get super hyped for retreats. It's where I felt like there were times where I would learn something and it would stick, you know. I don't know. I can't remember specifics because I'm not good at remembering those sort of specific things. I do remember we Blitz, which was our Converge. We spent time, I don't know how it happened, but basically like we started praying for one another, and then all of us, like me and a couple guys were praying for each other, and then all in like one room, and then all of a sudden that group of guys went to another group of guys, and we were all together in the same room praying for each other. And then the next night we ended up going to our youth pastor's room and praying over him. This is like 15 to 20 of us all like praying out loud at once, laying our hands on each other. It was just so awesome. And then we got permission to go pray for the girls as well. So we were up, I don't know how late, but it was super, super late. And everybody's just praying for each other. And then we did some worship. And it was just completely unplanned. Like it just happened. It just completely happened naturally. Like we were just really passionate about praying for each other. It was really, really, really cool. I remember that very clearly. Oh, what did April say? Cool. Oh,
Isn't
man.
that awesome?
Kool-Aid in the shower heads during college, and one of the leaders went back and ran the water before anyone used
I
it.
really hope that maybe April, if you're a host home for showers at some point, that you will do that to the kids, because that would be freaking awesome.
That'd be pretty darn funny.
Because it washes out, right? No harm. Might have blue hair for like a day.
Yeah, kind of. It'll stain I think it stains your skin a little bit.
That is awesome.
I think so. That's why you do it. Or if you're washing your hair, you get Kool-Aid in your hair. It's like, oh, then it gets all sticky and takes a while. Yeah. What? No. What? I don't know what you're saying. I can't read your mind.
April will talk. Just saying.
I'm nervous. I'm now nervous. What are some cool?
Oh wait, I question.
Go.
This is my question to you guys. So respond in the comments of why do you think that you love retreats so much? Like, what is it about retreats
In camps
or camps, like camps, retreats, whatever you want to say? Why do you love them so much? Like, what is it about them that you love? So respond in the comments. What were you gonna ask me?
You know what? Like, what did God do in your life at camps?
So we, our kind of Converge growing up was called Holy Ghost Party. It was super cool. And it was our fall retreat.
Such a creative name.
Yeah. Well, like, we would do this. So, like, we would bang. It was really cool at the time. We would bang on the ground like this. And we would do, like, this chant. Ain't no party like the Holy Ghost party, 'cause the Holy Ghost party don't stop. Say what? Ain't no party like the Holy Ghost party, 'cause the Holy Ghost party don't stop. Can't hear you. And then we get louder and louder. And this guy, his name's Jay Cousineau, and he was a speaker every year, and he would come in and he would be introduced, and then he'd be like, say what? And then we get like louder and louder. It was really cool, okay? Anyway, we looked forward to it every year. It was just a weekend. We went to the same, my youth pastor was a creature of habit. She's super frugal, and when she found a deal, we never did anything different, which I honestly loved, because you got to establish a tradition and all of that. And we went to the same retreat center, same food, like everything was the same. And every year we did this prayer walk but it was you all had to wait out, like all the students had to wait outside, and then there were maybe like 5 lines of chairs with like 12 different stations. So every single like fold out chair was a different station. It had one strip of paper and a little candle, and it was different every year. And my youth pastor prayed through like what God wanted to do with the prayer time. And so one by one, as people finished, you had to like kind of sit at at the end and be quiet. Like it was just quiet time whenever you ended. You could journal, pray, whatever, sleep. So outside, like you guys are having a good time. Then you go through this prayer walk, and then you have to be silent with like the rest of the people. So there are just really, really sweet moments throughout that prayer walk that I did every single year growing up. And I honestly can't remember what, this is Joey. I honestly can't remember what the prompts were, but I do remember really sweet moments that I felt very close to God. So that was awesome. And I remember my dad was cleaning out his yellow backpack when we went over to their house, and he found that candle. The silver candle. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah,
that was that was like one of the candles at the station.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. So that is something that I will always remember. There was just something really sweet about like how we were together as a community and as a youth group, but we also had that very like intimate one-on-one time as you were going through each station, and you were doing it together because there were like 5 different rows, which was really cool. Yeah. So I loved that.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm blanking here on some of the...
Well, let's read some of the comments. So I asked you guys, what do you like about retreats or camps? Scott says, I just love being able to be together with a lot of people and just being community together. Lots of togetherness. I think that's a huge thing, especially right now more than ever. I feel like I'm relearning that we were created for community, because we have a lack thereof. Shannon says, getting to give my undivided attention to my friends and God at the same time. Just the coolest. Agreed. There's no distraction, right? Like you're just kind of there.
Yeah, that was by far, and probably still is, one of my favorite parts of retreats. But you know what? I don't know why, like, I don't say this is to come down on being an adult, like that being an adult is not cool, but at the same time we don't get to do that stuff as adults really anymore, not as much as you do as teenagers. And man, just enjoy it and don't take it.
College students.
And yeah, in college too you get to do it, but even still, man, like I really miss that aspect of being able to do that as a church, like go to retreats and stuff. And half of the reason is like we do most of our retreats in house, which is not normal. So we do them at Epic because we have the space and the building and stuff like that. And we try to do one that's not there and that's affordable. But that's the hard part, is finding something that's affordable. And most adults want to sleep in their own bed, and which I totally get. But it's kind of half the experience, right? Half the fun. Like that's why we like going to Camp Joy so much, because it's cheap, super cheap. And it's a lot of fun being out there because it's different, very different. Because most of the time, man, camps are expensive, or they can be really expensive, I think. Anyway.
Well, it's 10:06. Maybe we should have had a closing camp song. The only one that is coming to mind is the Book of Pooh closing song. Nora really likes the Book of Pooh show on Disney Plus. We don't really let her watch it unless we like have to make dinner or something like that. But oh no, Phil's getting the guitar. What does this mean?
We're just gonna play something. I don't know what's gonna happen. I can't predict it. But we'll just let it happen.
It's time to say goodbye. It's been fun for a while.
love talking about camp stories and songs and sharing our memories with you.
But it's time to say goodbye, so we'll say it
Through a song to you.
We hope camp was fun. That's pretty good.
Pretty satisfied with that.
We have no idea what the topic's gonna be next week, so.
Oh, I had an idea and then it went away. Dang it!
Oh man!
I
Why
hated
the
that.
accent? I don't know. When he sings silly, he always sings with a country accent. It's very interesting.
You got to. You got to, you know. Oh, I had a. What was the
I
idea?
don't know.
Oh gosh. We were telling the story. I bet it'll come back if I go back and rewatch this. I'll go, ooh, that's what it was. But right now it's.
If you have something specific, we always say this, but direct message, or you can text Phil or Holly or me if you still have my number, and we will maybe take it into consideration. Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. This is super fun.
We have a lot more.
Throwbacks.
See ya.
Bye.